Alrighty, welcome everybody. This is, of course, an SFO campaign. This is going to be a few hours after the release of the latest version of SFO. This is the Rise of the Rat edition. I'm a little bit, let's say, hesitant to try SFO this soon after it released, the new version of it released, because usually there are going to be some additional hot fixes or something that comes along here in the near future, but we're going to do it anyway because I'm pretty excited to check this out, and hopefully some of you are as well. We're of course going to play a Skaven faction, and hopefully any changes that might need to happen will not be enough to actually brick the campaign. So as I mentioned, we are going to go ahead and jump in here and line up a Skaven faction. I haven't actually decided which one. My heart always goes with Lord Skrulk, but I've played a Quake campaign on this channel before. I've played a Snitch campaign on this channel before. I've played a Throt campaign on this channel before, and I've played a Skrulk campaign. So four out of the 6. So that means we're either going to go with Tretch or with Ikit Claw. I mean, it's really, really hard to say no to the Skaven Lord that everybody loves. I'm pretty sure he's everybody's favorite, or almost everybody's favorite, legendary Lord of the Skaven, Tretch, right? So, very hard. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with Ikit Claw. I'll test out Tretch on my own, probably, but I have a feeling Tretch is extremely unpopular, and as much effort as I put into editing, I would kind of like to at least get a few dozen people to watch this video, so I'm not going to choose a legendary lord that nobody likes. So let's go with Ikit Claw. We'll find out how challenging he is with all these changes, but mainly the number one thing I want to do is I want to experiment with all the changes that are being made in SFO. So we're going to go ahead and play on the hardest difficulty. I haven't really paid, other than like a few months ago when Venrus first released the video talking about what all the different changes are going to be to the Skaven. I haven't actually paid any attention to them since then, so I don't really remember exactly what all the changes are. We'll kind of come in fresh and try to figure it out as we go. I think that Ikit Claw is, generally speaking, a pretty powerful legendary lord, but he does say in the new version of SFO that it is supposed to be pretty well balanced, so who knows, maybe Ikit Claw has been nerfed a little bit. We shall see. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead. Legendary, very hard. I went ahead and set all of the AI stats to as high as possible. I kind of go back and forth between this and this setting, not that one, this setting right here with the leadership +4, because I do find that when you play it on the maximum settings, it tends to make some of the factions really play very unthematically, like, you know, the Greenskins and the Skaven, and some of the others that should be breaking more often don't tend to. I'm kind of torn, though, because, like I said, I think Ikit Claw is generally kind of a very powerful legendary lord, and I don't want to I don't want it to be a super easy campaign, but anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and I guess I'll try this and we'll see how it goes. And let's go ahead and start the campaign. While this is starting to load up, I will say this is using only the SFO mod. I do not want to run the risk of trying to combine it with other mods and find out later on that they conflict.
No devastation like Ikit's devastation. Yes, yes.
All right, well, the first good news is that we're actually in the campaign, so we haven't crashed yet, so that's always a good sign. Let's, I think, I'm not going to bother to read through how they play. I'm going to assume that most people know how the Skaven play, and also, of course, Ikit Claw has access to the Forbidden Laboratory here, or Forbidden Workshop, which I will show everyone here in a second. So we obviously have a mission here to capture Tabaro, which we will probably do, although I don't know if I'll capture it right away. I may just end up sacking it. I don't know. We'll take a look at our food situation and what our army looks like and things like that. Okay, so anyway, that's our mission. But before we get into all that, let's take a look here. Our faction effects. I don't remember vanilla Ikit Claw all that well, so I don't know for sure that this is exactly the same as how it is in vanilla, but to me it looks pretty similar. So we've got the Forbidden Workshop, as mentioned. It produces Warp Storm Doom rockets and unit upgrades. Research rate plus 25, loyalty plus 2 for new recruits, and construction cost minus 25% for engineering buildings. This is the aforementioned Forbidden Workshop right here. We're starting out with 52 food and 5 warp fuel. Those are the 2 currencies that you use for these upgrades. So far, this looks... I feel like maybe this is a lot more of a food cost. The 2 warp fuel sounds the same, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it normally less than 25 food to do these upgrades with vanilla? So that could be a difference, although I wouldn't swear to it right now. But anyway, we'll definitely want to do that here as soon as we have enough food to spare. Then the other thing we want to look at, of course, at the very beginning, actually 2 more things. First of all, we want to look at our Balquint Marsqueak here. We want to see what trait he has, which is oversized warp blade bonus versus large plus 100, range minus 25%. Absolutely terrible. Don't like that trait at all, but it is what it is. So he's going to be basically our hero that's not going to be all that great, or he's going to, let's just say he's suboptimal. We'll leave it at that. Okay. But anyway, we'll go ahead and embed him into Ikit Claw's army. Oh, I definitely need to get in here and change my camera settings. My goodness, people have an expectation. And when I say people, I include myself. So we're going to go ahead and set all of this to cinematic. Enemy factions on cinematic. And finally, neutral factions, we'll just set those to low. Okay. All right, and then looking at our army, okay, we've got our Skaven Slaves, and we've got our Rattling Guns, and a single Warplock Jezzails, one of my favorite units in the game, the Warplock Jezzails. Don't get me wrong, Rattling Guns, very, very powerful unit, but I just have a fondness for these Warplock Jezzails. Anyway, this looks to me like probably the same army that you start out with in vanilla. If it's any different at all, I'm not immediately aware of what the differences are. And, of course, actually, I didn't recognize these clan rats at first. I thought they were Skaven Slaves, but no, we've got two clan rats and 2 Skaven Slaves. It's fine. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and launch this attack. Now, the sack value here, 483. Our food situation is probably the biggest concern. We're at normal food levels. If we drop much lower, we're going to get growth and casualty replenishment rate. You know what? I just realized. SFO settings, Michael, before we do anything else. Unit caps, that's fine. Difficulty, I think I leave that normal. I think all of these things when I play SFO, I tend to leave all these at default. But then here in pacing, technology, we're going to go with the minus... Let's go with minus 25%. Health replenishment, we're going to go with minus 10%. That is huge. That is massively impactful right there. Construction and recruitment, I'm going to leave that default. Growth, we'll leave default. Experience gain, we're going to reduce that by 25%. This is going to really put us behind the 8 ball because for whatever reason, unless they've changed it, in SFO, all AI faction Legendary Lords and Heroes start out at level 5. Hate it. Don't know why they do it, but whatever. Like I said, this is going to actually put us even further behind all of the AI factions, but it is my preference because when you do this, it really makes every single skill up feel really much more impactful. You get a little bit more of a dopamine hit when you gain a level, basically. Army's movement, we're going to go ahead and reduce by 25% as well. Wounds time, we're going to go ahead and increase that by +4. And then our province control, we're going to leave that default. Battle speed, we're going to do slow. Garrisons, we're going to do stronger. That is hugely impactful, as we have learned in other campaigns as well. And then I think the rest of this we're just going to leave the same. So let's go ahead and roll with that. And then we're going to take a look at our food situation. We really want to get above 60%, so 61% plus. We are currently sitting at 49%, so I don't desperately want to spend any food right away, which would include occupying a new settlement at anything above tier 1. So I think what I'm going to do, I probably will sack it and maybe do that multiple times and see how much food we can get out of doing that. Let's go ahead and track our mission objective. Let's go ahead and do our diplomacy, because you're never on the first turn, except for a few exceptions to certain factions, you're never as strong on the first turn as you are when you first move your hero into your army but haven't fought a battle yet, because you haven't suffered any casualties yet. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and check and see what our options are. So we could make nice with Aranessa, which might not be a bad idea. We can always break that treaty later, but I don't desperately want to find myself fighting both Sartosa and Aranessa right off the bat, not to mention we're going to have the dwarves that we have to deal with. We're going to possibly have Astalia, depending on what happens with the beastmen over here. So it's a thought. We may do that. If we do it, we can get 157. So we're not going to do it for the money, that's for sure. This minor greenskins faction, I'm probably not going to be too interested in making nice with them. They really aren't offering us very much. I believe what I am going to do, though, I'm going to go back to Aranessa here. We're going to go ahead and have a non-aggression pact with her. At least that's one less enemy possibility in the early going. We'll break that treaty, or at least cancel it, probably relatively soon at a time of our choosing. Money-wise, we're doing okay, but let's not bother to spend our money yet until we do this battle. So let's go ahead and start out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why did that not give me the cinematic? I can't change them right now. I'll have to remember to check that when we get back out. It's almost like it didn't save my camera settings, or else I did something wrong, which is more likely the case. All right, so anyway, we're going to go ahead, fight this. It's really, other than those crossbowmen, it's a bunch of melee infantry, which hopefully we will just destroy before they even get to within melee range. And then we'll use our Doomflayers probably against the crossbows there. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, apologies. I meant to check out the tech tree right away for people interested in that. I will do it as soon as we get done with this battle. Shouldn't take very long to fight this battle. We're just going to leave the clan rats and the Skaven slaves back here. We're going to count on all the heavy lifting being done by our ranged units, our Jezzails. If we move you up just a tiny little bit here, you're pretty much already starting out within range. Let's get Ikit up here, and we'll get our Warlock Engineer. Your name is Balaquint, okay? We'll try to remember his name. We're going to get him over there, and then these are swordsmen or spearmen. They're spearmen, okay. I want to get the Doomflayers on those crossbows, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a long end around the flank. So we'll start the battle, and we're going to come around this way. It probably is going to draw these spears away, which is fine. You know, anything to delay some of their melee units from getting close to us. And let's go ahead and get Ikit forward here, and also, whoops, this side, Michael, and also our Warlock Engineer. Meanwhile, yep, these spears aren't really sure what to do, but the crossbows stop to shoot. That's fine. Okay, we should be opening fire here very soon with the, there we go, with the rattling guns. Let's try to get Ikit Claw out of the way. Try to break up their formation and just slow them down there. All right, you all come around like this. Meanwhile, they should be in fairly bad shape all across their line. Ikit, you can back up a little bit. You can go ahead and try to slow them down with this. Yep, they pulled back in order to avoid that. Right here, though, now we're going to have to engage, and we're going to have to turn. And we're going to go ahead and maybe use you to make sure that they don't get into our rattling guns. Right here, you guys get ready if you are needed, but hopefully... Okay, you guys can take out the Doomflayers can take out the crossbows. Over here, let's get... Keep shooting right there. That's my fault. Okay, you all go ahead and come up like this. Right here. Go ahead and attack right there. These Skaven slaves are going to fall to pieces. Go ahead and pull them back. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, we got pretty good angles to shoot with our rattling guns here. Definitely want to take out those spears. Warp overcharge. Causes damage to self. I do not want to do it for that reason. Okay, Ikit Claw. Okay, I could use a nuke, but I don't think there's going to be any reason to in this particular fight. Over here, let's go ahead and turn around and shoot those. Over here, you can turn this way and shoot over here, and that means we can pull these folks back a little bit. Right here, you need to do a better job of occupying those pikemen. Okay, right here, are you not able to shoot? You're, for whatever reason, not able to shoot. I guess there's a tiny little bit of a hill there. That makes sense. Never mind. Okay. Right here, we should be shooting right there. Yes, we are. Okay, that's good. You're doing just... You can just hang out here, I think. That's fine. I think I now want you all shooting into them. This Warlock Engineer is probably going to need to pull back here. You... Yeah, this is fine. That's fine. Over here, are we now shooting into the backs of them? We should be. Let's go ahead and get you involved over here now. Actually, you know what? You can hit them from behind. Nope, 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 no, no, no. Why did you run forward instead of shooting? Why do you do this to me, game? Okay. Over here, you just pull out. Just pull out. You now shoot them. You go ahead and charge in there. Make sure they don't reach these rattling guns. Okay, you need to fire into them. Actually, now you need to fire into them. Oh, this is insane. Okay, let's go ahead and pull you back out, and you can help out with those guys there. Get on those guys there. There we go. They're shattered. Okay, there we go. Now we're talking. Go ahead and run around here. Don't guess we have an enemy lord that we even need to worry about, so we can call that an end. Alright. Not too bad. Took a little bit more damage than I had wanted to, but at least we didn't lose any of our all-important weapons team's units. It's really only this Warlock Engineer that took a little bit more damage than I might have liked, but that's going to happen when you play on Legendary very hard. Give them cheats, and then watch as your rattling guns stop shooting and instead decide to charge forward into melee for some god-awful reason. But anyway, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and, like I mentioned, we're just going to sack. We don't get any additional food out of sacking, so that's a disappointment. But we've got two options now. What we can do is we could raid, and if we raid, we would get 8 food. So probably worth raiding. However, we could also stand to get a little bit of replenishment and do some recruitment. Right now, we can only recruit clan rats, and that's it. And Skaven slaves. So maybe we don't really worry about the recruitment just yet. We definitely want to upgrade the main city. I don't play the silly cheese game of allowing Skaven Blight to rebel and be taken over by rebels so that we can turn around and occupy it at tier 3 or 4 or 5. So that's why I'm not doing that. We will instead do this the more realistic, I don't even want to say real, the less cheesy way is all I'll say. I mean, realistically, I guess you could argue that maybe the Skaven would do something like that, although I doubt if Ikit Claw would allow Skaven Blight to be taken over by rebels. So anyway, we got storage caves here. Oh, I know. I said 2 things. I wanted to check 2 things right away. Number 1, camera off. No, that's not what I intended to do. I obviously did not set that correctly, but everything else looks like it is set correctly. Okay, that's good. And then also I wanted to show off the technology and see how this is different. So this looks familiar, the Ferocious Plans and Devious Plans. Although it looks like, all told, this is quite a bit larger now, which I like. Tunnels, entrance, rat force generated. Okay, what the heck is rat force? This is where I probably should have read up about the changes that SFO is doing. But whatever it is, we'll figure it out as time goes on. This probably is rat force down here, right? It's probably a currency that we use for lots of these other things, okay? And then we have slave force. So this is, both of these just generate 5 rat force. However, they're prerequisites then. Well, this is only a prerequisite for more slave force, but this is a prerequisite for just about everything else in this particular tree. So that's good to know. We definitely are going to want to get to some of these things for sure. Definitely. I don't know which one we're going to prioritize yet. Undercity here. Can't see. Upkeep, attribute. Yeah, worth getting, but not right now. And we don't have the right building for it anyway. We need mine shafts. Okay, we'll have to look up what that is. We're sorry. We need beginning. Where's beginning? I don't know where. Oh, here's beginning. My mistake. So we have to work our way out from right here. So never mind. Don't worry about that. Start out right here. Newly colonized ruins have greatly reduced construction costs and duration for 1 turn. Okay, that's good. Actually, I quite like that, but it takes 12 turns to research that. Expedited Lord recruit rank +2. Recruitment costs go up, and additional effects unlocked for the stronghold under Empire Chain. War Grinder, we got construction time -1 for basic military buildings. Additional effects unlocked for War Camp under Empire Chain. Okay, not bad. Domesticated Warfare. Steal 10% of the experience earned by other lords. This is for the faction leader. Additional effects unlocked for the Warren under Empire chain. That's going to be a lower priority, I think. Card trick, siege towers +1 per siege item constructed. Okay. Battle reinforcement time reduction and additional effects unlocked for protection under Empire chain. Okay. Well, all of those are definitely going to be worth checking out in more detail as we move forward, but I don't think they're the priority. I think... Well, obviously there's only one thing. Well, no, we could do this, or we could do this for now. I think we're going to start out with entrance here. 5 turns, but we'll maybe switch our research over once we build one of these buildings. We could do the rubbish pit. It only takes 1 turn. We could do the rattling warrens. It only takes 1 turn. And those are the only 2 that we can do right now that unlock research. I think what we'll do, I'm probably long term going to want this building, so I'm going to build this one first, start the research, then demolish it, then switch it over to the growth building. And we are going to keep this is the landmark building, so we'll keep this. It does increase our unit capacity for weapons teams, which is good, but we can't actually recruit them just yet, which is bad. Does give us control and food and research rate and income, so we definitely have no reason to demolish that. Then we've got our different commandments here. These are probably different than vanilla. Definitely the numbers have changed anyway. I think the growth and the construction time is going to make this more of a priority. However, it is going to be a serious penalty to our public order. Do we care about that right now? The other option that we could do right away would be getting some food generated, which quite frankly, actually, I think that might need to be the priority. However, if we look at our rights here, we do need to do expansionist planning for 1 turn just to unlock this. So let's come back to this. Let's switch to expansionist planning first. That will unlock this right. Then we'll probably switch over to the food and the food commandment, because we need to build up some food for sure. That's got to be a priority. And what else am I checking out here? Oh, I just wanted to see if the public order is any different than vanilla. It looks like it's still... It's similar to... It's different, a little bit different than vanilla, but kind of similar, along the same lines. You still get a little bit of a self-correction when your public order drops into the negatives, and a little bit of a penalty when it moves up the chain here in the positive direction. Okay. All right. I think we now have learned absolutely everything there is to learn about the Skaven and SFO. So now that we are true masters, we can... I am joking, by the way. I presume everybody knows that. Excuse me. Okay, so like I said, we're going to raid because I want food. And we're obviously going to attack again next turn. We're only at 50%. I'd really kind of like to get it above 60% before we occupy. And I think then we've already checked diplomacy. Don't care about these other things. I'm not going to do anything in the Forbidden Workshop because it does require not only some food, but a lot of food. Definitely more than we want to spend right now. So we'll do those as soon as we can afford to from a food perspective. And I think then we are ready to probably go ahead and do our first end turn. It looks like we're getting a lot of money. This is more money than you get in normal vanilla. But we'll figure out a use for it here very soon, I am sure. We could recruit another lord. He is going to affect our food production, but we're getting 8 food from the raiding, so maybe it's worth doing. We could get a Grey Seer, pretty good loyalty here. Foresight, melee attack, defense, and bolstered command. Affects allies in range. That could be worth doing. He's slow, which I don't love, but these others, particularly that passive ability, I don't really want him to be in melee if I get a Grey Seer, but it does happen sometimes. An Overlord could be an option, but honestly, if we're going thematic, if we're going Ikit Claw, we probably want to go with a Warlock Master. So we've got Rat Stimulants, cooldown minus 20% for all spells. Campaign line of sight plus 50%, speed plus 20. It's good. Encased warp engines. This is armor and unit mass and armor plus 10 for a lot of units that you really have no reason to ever try to get into melee combat. So I don't know how great that would be. Let me just check out the traits here of some of these others. We've got Swift and Unseen. That could be quite nice. Devastating Flanker could be definitely quite useful. And then our Warlord here, we've got Brutish. Charge bonus for Rat Ogres and Mutant Rat Ogres. Physical resistance. Yeah, it's pretty good. I do like that. And then we've got Frontline Rat, which is also okay. Armor plus 15 for Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats. At least it's giving armor to units that actually get in combat. And weapon strength plus 50% when attacking, but it's only for him. It's not for the whole army. At least it doesn't look like it the way that that reads. I still kind of feel like we need to go Warlock Master because it's more thematic. So I'm going to go with the Rat Stimulants. Should improve his spell casting just a little bit. And speed is never a bad thing. 4 through 9. So I'm just assuming he's going to come through at 4. But we'll see. Recruit. Oh, he's up to 6. Wow, okay. Awesome. And then we're going to go ahead and move him into the city because at least he'll provide that +1 for military presence for this turn. And we could now do some recruiting. And we can actually recruit some decent... I wonder how much the stats here on the Skaven Slaves have changed. It doesn't look like they've changed much. The stats on the... Okay, normally I would default here to the spears over the shields. They both have shields. The melee defense is a little bit better, and you don't really rely on these guys to be doing much damage anyway. I think this is what we're going to do. We'll take those and we'll bring them down here and add them to Ikit Claw's army. Next turn, we'll get this Lord involved in the fighting as well. Maybe he'll get a little bit of a boost to his loyalty in the process. And it did cost us a little bit in terms of our food situation, but we should be able to make up for it with the fact that we're raiding right here. I hope. We'll find out how much we're losing because of having that second army. I don't think... Nope, I'm sorry, right there. Food consumption 5. So we're losing 5 per turn from having a second army, but we're gaining 8 from raiding. All right, let's go ahead and end our turn. Okay, interesting. So we do have Astalia moving an army our way. Okay, time of balance is generally what I always choose here, but just to double check what these different things are, yeah, we don't want any of these things. Maybe sometime I'll try one of those, but I usually just go with time of balance. We unlocked the dominating scheme, okay, which we may very well want to go ahead and do right away, but we're up to 58% with food. That's good. That's even with the 5 that we're losing from this army.
That will work.
Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put you into normal stance. This army doesn't terrify me, but we do need to look and see how powerful. Okay, overall, he's not all that strong. We have another option, which is we could go in ambush stance. We're going to sack it anyway, or we could occupy it. But I think I'm going to sack it again, and then we're going to go into ambush stance, and we're going to see if by chance he walks into an ambush, or just walk straight into Tabaro, and then we can wrap up, like encircle and destroy the whole army along with the garrison next turn. But first things first, we're going to encircle. And we're going to bring this army up. Now we've burned through an awful lot of our movement here, so definitely something to keep tabs on is that we don't have very much movement left. Again, we did reduce the army movement on the campaign map. And Yeah, I'm just going to sack it again, I'm pretty sure. And like I said, hope that that army moves in here or gets ambushed, one or the other. Hopefully Ikit will have enough movement left to ambush, but actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think he will. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and do this. I don't know why I look at the battle map every time. I don't need to. It's going to be the same battle map it was last time. This is interesting. They've got mortars now. How did they get a bigger army, a bigger garrison than what they had before we sacked it? That's weird. All right, fight battle. I guess SFO changes the garrison composition, but it doesn't kick in until turn 2. Okay, it looks like it kind of remembers our deployment from last time, but we want to change it anyway because we now want to get the clan rat spears more involved. Start deployment. Let's go ahead and take the 2 of you. Just move you guys over here. May use them actually to draw fire from the mortars. No, never mind. Everybody's already in mortar range. Yeah, the mortars outrange our Warplock Jezzails. So that's fine. Put you here. We'll move you all over here. The rattling guns, we're going to actually put them in the trees where they cannot be seen right away until they start coming forward, because I do not want these guys to get bombarded by the mortars. And then we're going to put Ikit and Beloquent up front. And we'll put you all over here. Never mind, you're already in a good spot. Start battle, start moving that way. We're going to get you around into those mortars, but we're going to go ahead and move all of you all to try to avoid being hit by the mortars. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, you're already getting hit. Let's go ahead and put you on 4s. Put you in a locked control group. And back you up. Let's get you moving forward a little bit. Where's the other? Oh, no, that was Michael. That was dumb. I didn't need to move the Jezzails at all. My mistake. All right, how are you doing? We want you to get around behind here and into those mortars as quickly as possible. In fact, we can go ahead and do this right now. That'll help. Jezzails then. Turn around. Right here. Why did I summon them all the way over there? I thought I was summoning them right behind those mortars, but apparently not. All right, you all get back. Now, let's go ahead and bring our 4s back and get our rattling guns forward. And these rattling guns forward. Maybe right here, which means you all can come around more like this. Okay. Let's go ahead and... I'm not going to bombard. I don't think I need to bombard. Okay, right here, you take out those crossbowmen. And the Skaven Slave, or the Clan Rats, you hit those pikemen. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Ikit. Okay, right here. We definitely want those rattling guns firing. ASAP. Ikit, you can stand there. You can tank for just a minute. Okay, the rest of them here look like they're not even coming forward at this point. Let's get you all... Let's get you all back. Right there. Take care of those. Okay, what are the Jezzails even shooting at here? Whatever they're shooting at, I'm sure it's good. Okay, let's get you out of the way here. Those rattling guns are just going to accidentally do some friendly fire damage. Okay, we want to get these... I'll tell you what. Let's make sure we run those mortars completely off the map. Okay, the Jezzails are shooting probably down there at those pikemen. That's fine. You're running these crossbowmen off the map. That's fine. We want you all to take care of those crossbowmen. Yeah, this is fine. This is all looking just fine. Shattered. But we would like him to be killed, please. Hello? Can we kill him? There we go. That's looking good. Alright, let's go ahead and blast those crossbows. Back here. Run away! Get away from those swordsmen. Okay, down here, it looks like everything is pretty well under control, except I do want to shoot those crossbowmen right there. These summoned clan rats from the menace below, those last a really long time, obviously. Go ahead and hit those swordsmen, that's fine. Actually, no, hit these those pikemen from behind, I guess. If you can. Okay, we're doing those crossbowmen, that's fine. Rattling guns, nothing to shoot at currently. Let's get you moving forward. Let's get another blast off on them, and then you can just frankly pull back. And we'll go ahead and send you all after him. Okay, right here, you should be shooting those crossbows. You can pull back. Right here. No, I don't really want the Doomflayers on the pikemen. We'll get them over here on these swordsmen instead. Okay, those guys should not last long. Let's go ahead and pull the other rattling guns forward. Here, you can help out on these swordsmen. Right here. Okay, let's get these rattling guns over here now. There we go. Takes a little bit longer, I just now remembered, because of the bonuses that garrisons get. Okay, let's end battle. Alright, Banner of the Eternal Flame. I suppose we'll give this to one of our new shielded clan rat units. And like I said, once again, we're just going to sack. And if we have enough movement remaining to go into ambush stance, we will. We do not. And we also cannot raid. Well, that's a bummer. But that's going to happen when you reduce your campaign movement range. Okay, so we're going to take Route Marcher. And you're up to 7. That's good. And you can actually move all the way into the other region, and actually so can Ikit. So Ikit, we're going to go ahead. I didn't do that very well, did I? All right, we're going to put you in. Oh, apparently you can do a full. There's no movement penalty for. No, there's no movement penalty for channeling states. However, that was a major screw up on my part, because he could have gotten into this region to get some replenishment, and I didn't move him quite into the right spot there. Okay, I think at this point I'm going to do some swords, some regular clan rats with swords, because why not? Why not? We don't have to go completely optimally for everything. And we do now have this right that we can perform. Food growth control. Yeah, we're going to do that. So I'm going to cancel this. Then I'm going to do this. Perform the right. And then we're going to go ahead and do the recruiting now. Save us just a tiny little bit of money. And now, since we're not in ambush stance, I don't think there's any chance at all that he moves that army into Tabaro, but we'll see. We'll find out. Okay. Meanwhile, I can change this to food generated. And, ooh, Skaven Blade already has a size 20 garrison. However, it may be a size 20 garrison, but if you look at those units, you've got Skaven Slaves in there. You've got some unshielded clan rats, lots of them. Yeah, not at all a good garrison. It's got quantity, but it has no quality at all. The only decent units gotten that, well, the Night Runners are okay, but the Warp Lightning Cannon would normally be a good unit, but you know what? For a walled city battle, it's not a good unit for that either. So really not a good garrison at all. Okay. Meanwhile, I guess I could check the diplomacy again. Broken Nose is about to get wiped out by Clan Angren. Clan Angren would likely declare war on us anyway, so we could gain 332 gold for probably no real negative, but we're not going to anyway.
Yes?
Alright, so the main thing is next turn will be above 60% in food. That's going to gain us some growth and an upkeep reduction, but only for armies that are inside our own territory. Loyalty +1 for new recruits, but we're probably not going to be doing any new recruits just yet. Casualty replenishment rate is going to be good. Control is going to be good. Upkeep for Skaven Slaves is okay. Local recruitment capacity could be good, and leech. Okay, so that's definitely worth getting the positives here, the upper two levels of your food situation. Okay. I think then... Oh, I do want to change my technology because we can now do devious plans, and it'll only take one turn to do it. And then after we do that, we can turn around and demolish our rubbish pit. Our rubbish pit is giving us a lot less money than it does in vanilla. All right, let's go ahead and... yeah, I don't think there's anything else we need to do here. Let's go ahead and do it. Yep, he's staying away from us. Not a surprise. Not at all a surprise. Okay. Let's see here. Devious plans. That's good. Let's go ahead and... This time we're now at 68%. We could occupy... How do I want to do this? I'd really like to get into ambush stance. My ambush chances are not great, however. I was going to say, what we could do is we could occupy to borrow with Medable here, or alternatively, we could just sack it again, but make the attack with Medable, and that way Ikit would have enough movement remaining to be an ambush stance. But with such a low ambush chance, I don't know that it's going to be worth it. Is there anywhere that we get a good... No, there's nowhere that we get a good ambush chance. I think... Now, why is Ikit getting replenishment? Are we in? No, we're in enemy territory. I don't know why we're getting replenishment. I think we're in enemy territory. We didn't get replenishment last end turn. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and do this. And
That will work!
I think if we take a look at Astalia... Yeah, they're still not strong. I think we'll go ahead and just occupy it at this point. So... Let's see here. I think that's yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and occupy it. I don't really see any reason to play too many games here, and we'll go ahead and do it with Ikit himself. So we got decisive victory, and we'll we're going to go ahead and again move these units in. I think we'll just auto-resolve because it's basically exactly the same battle that we just fought, except this time we have even more units on our side. Decisive victory. Let's see what kind of casualties we suffer here. Not too many. Now, what I would love to be doing is occupying this at a higher tier, but I'm not going to, because I want to keep my food positive. So we're going to loot and occupy. Our food is at 68%. That's good. That's what we want. We've got our treasury and our terrifying mask of E. Terrifying mask of E. I think I mispronounced that. Okay, and a new mission objective. Okay. Let's go ahead and keep track of this. We're going to get a little bit of replenishment. That's what we want. Our Warlock Engineer gets a level here. We will definitely take increased mobility. And we're going to give that shield... We're going to wait and give that to a melee combatant, I think. Because I don't desperately want either one of these two to be in melee combat. Any of these three, I should say. To be in melee combat. Alright, let's go ahead then take a look at Tabaro. We'll go ahead and repair that, because I think at this point we'll probably plan on keeping it. And Medable, you just go into channeling stance. Is there any way...
Smartest warlock brings victory.
I go into ambush stance and move him up to here, 45%. The thing is, what I'm kind of hoping is that he keeps his army close enough that we could attack him to where we can run him down even if he retreats. So that's the goal right here. I think what he'll do is he'll move even further away from us, but we'll see. Could be wrong. Meanwhile, we're at 18 out of the 20. I could recruit a couple Skaven slaves. I'm not going to bother. Public orders at minus 30, even with the plus 18 of military presence. That provincial instability is now at minus 15 instead of the minus 10 that it normally is in vanilla. Additionally, this port, I guess that's because we sacked it, so never mind. I was going to say that wouldn't normally be damaged after you do an occupy, but I'm sure it's for that reason. Here, collected income gives us a minus 10. Food and events is helping a little bit, but we're still only at 0. And it's being propped up by this for 4 more turns, and then it's going to drop to minus 3. Okay. That's all right. We can live with that. We're still getting, right now, the food. Reduced income, but that's okay. That's not really punishing us all that much. And research available. Okay. We can go on to do Fight Dirty. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do Fight Dirty for now, and we're going to go ahead and demolish this building, and we'll replace it with the Growth. The Rattling Warrens, I think, is the building we want. Next. Rattling Warrens, indeed. Okay. You know you've played a lot of Skaven when you can remember the names of the buildings. Okay, let's go ahead, check our diplomacy. Well, the greenskins here are still alive.
So,
Let's see how much they would give us now. 185, still definitely not worth it. All right, let's go ahead and do another in turn. I guess we're coming up here close to an hour, so we'll wrap up this first episode and talk about some of the differences that we're seeing with SFO so far. And sure enough, like I thought, he's running away from us. Can't say I blame him. And we've encountered, now this is Morgear, is that right? Morgear. Considering he's my favorite of the Beastmen Legendary Lords, I always forget his name. His name is Morgur. Morgur, okay. Alright, and then I always have a fondness for this part of the world because I used to live in Spain. I used to live up here close to where Bilbao would be. I lived in a city called La Coruña, which is in Galicia, which is the province of Spain just north of Portugal. So I have a fondness for this part of the Warhammer world as well because it obviously is very much based on Spain. Okay, let's go ahead, move you in the open where you can be seen, and then move you. Well, first of all, public order wise, can we afford? Yeah, we can afford to move out of the city for a couple turns. So we're going to go ahead and pull out, and we're going to go into ambush stance. And we're going to move as far as we can in ambush stance. We're not getting replenishment right here. Why is that? Oh, it's because of the local effects right there. Nope, that's not doing it. That has no negative for replenishment. I do not know why we're getting it. I must be missing something. Food is looking really good now. We could probably change our commandment right here in Skaven Blight. Let's change this back to maybe this. This would reduce our control, however. I should have done this last turn because of the construction time reduction. Any buildings that take more than one turn to build, we're going to wait and not do it this turn. Well, that one only takes one turn, so we're going to go ahead and do this. This one only takes one turn. Do we want to build it? It does give us food. I think the answer is probably going to be yes. And then this one is 2 turns. It's going to be 2 turns whether we do it now or we wait until we have this commandment kick in, I guess. So really no reason not to go ahead and do it. Okay. This doesn't save us any money. It just saves us time. All right. Well, in that case, maybe we don't do this. I could switch to one of these others. Get our control in order. First question is, do we get 2 food at tier 2 of the food building? Yes, we do. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and be upgrading. We'll probably upgrade both of these. So it's worth keeping this commandment. Okay. All right, then Ikit Claw, like I said, you're going to move this way in the ambush stance. Hope that you don't get pulled out right away. And then we're going to move Beatable here in regular stance as bait. See what happens. With a little bit of luck, he will come charging out and try to attack Beatable, and we will ambush him, but I'm not really getting my hopes up. Meanwhile, Tabaro going to rebel here at the rate we're going. Not really. I could turn off the collect income, actually. That'll help a lot. Don't really need it. And frankly, Skaven Blight, we could turn off the income collection here as well, and that helps our public order here considerably. I think it's worth doing that. It's worth spending 500 in gold, considering we're making more than 2,000 per turn. Did it change our growth? It doesn't look. In fact, it's going to be to our benefit to not collect income, which will eventually help with our growth. Okay, that works for me. Okay, so we're coming up here on an hour. Let's do the intern and let's find out if this guy falls for it. And if not, then we'll go ahead and take a put a cut in the episode right there and review what we've learned in this episode. So let's go ahead and end our turn. All right, so obviously he did not come out and attack us. I didn't get the message that we got pulled out of ambush stance, so who knows. Mine. During a feast, as enemies are consumed and the paunches of their peers are measured with envious eyes, one of your warlords boasts rather too loudly of the scavenge hall he has discovered, within which sits a relic of great value. We could seize claim it at once, and Medable would gain flayed tail, which is not good. But he would also gain the Sword of Swift Slaying. Or we can let them fight over it, which is a chance to lose loyalty, but we get income from all buildings. I don't love that character's aura leadership effect of -3. For the Skaven, that is not good. That is not a good trait to get. I don't care how good this sword is, and it's quite frankly not good enough. So we're going to let them fight over it. I'd rather have to deal with his loyalty and not have a permanent -3 leadership effect. Okay. So, money-wise, we're still making lots of money. So what we need to do at this point is we're going to have to do this the hard way. If we're not going to be able to ambush them, we're going to have to build up our armies, come over here, lay siege to Magrita, which is fine. We can do that, unless the beastmen beat us to it. So what that means is
Magic's energies.
I might leave these guys here because I can't really recruit any decent units right here. And so what I may do instead is recruit another lord. It's gonna hurt us from a food standpoint, but we're at 100% right now, so that's good. Like I said before, we're going to go ahead and do this and this. We're going to go ahead and recruit another lord here. This one, now we could do like a Grey Seer, because we already have a Warlock Master, which was thematically what we needed to take first. We could do Overlord, or we could do Foresight. I'm going to go with Overlord. That's much better, I think. I'm a fan of it anyway. That discipline is really important for Skaven. So we'll take him. Wow, his leadership or his loyalty is 9. Okay, and we're going to start recruiting in more units here. I think we'll go heavy on the spears. That is going to cost us a little bit in terms of our food. We're now up to 15 food to support our armies, but it's fine. And part of the reason why it's going to be fine is because we're going to try to move.
Me.
I was going to say, we're going to come up here and raid, but actually, I'm not sure that this... Is Ikit Claw strong enough to defeat an army? He might be. We're going to try it. So we're going to move you in raiding stance into that territory.
Burn, steal.
Getting very little in the way of money, but we are getting food out of it. And then Ikit Claw, you are just going to stay here and hope to ambush.
Yes.
You're losing Winds of Magic, which I don't love, but we're going to get one more chance to maybe take out the army before we have to attack it in the city. Tabaro is okay in terms of public order. It's okay in terms of growth. Skaven Blight is okay in terms of public order. It's quite good, actually, in terms of growth. It's building these buildings. You are doing your recruiting. And... okay, so I think we're all set right now in terms of what we're going to do moving forward. So let's talk about the differences here with SFO. From a buildings perspective, I haven't really examined these very much, but obviously at the lower levels, we see less income. You make less income from some of these buildings. I want to say in vanilla you don't get a control debuff for this building, so I think that might be added by SFO. But not, nothing overwhelming that we've seen from a buildings perspective so far. You start with this landmark building in vanilla, and it allows you to build the same units in SFO that it allows you to build in vanilla. So not really too big of a difference there. I think that landmark, I don't really remember what it does in vanilla, but that looks, again, pretty similar to how it looks in vanilla. Then we have the obvious difference of, I feel like the armies require a little bit more food, and I believe the workshop, the Forbidden Workshop here, this is requiring way more food. In fact, we could do this now, actually, because we're probably in pretty good shape in terms of food. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our weapons teams, our rattling guns. We probably want to do rattling guns first, since we have 2 of those and only a single Warplock Giselle unit. This is Hawkish Precision, which is good. This is Endless Drum, also very good. We're going to go ahead and do this. Okay. So now our food has dropped, but we're doing raiding here. So that we ought to be okay from a food perspective. And anyway, so as I was saying, I feel like the army upkeep in terms of food is higher, and the items in the Forbidden Workshop is higher, but to compensate for that, you get more food out of raiding, and I believe there was, in this commandment, you get more food out of doing this commandment as well. In fact, let's go ahead and switch back to that for next turn. And we still have our nuke if we do get attacked and it looks like a battle that we can't win without it. Income-wise, I believe you're getting more income from the get-go, more background income than what you get in vanilla. And yeah, other than that, it still very much right now feels like an Ikit Claw campaign. So we'll see what other... Oh, wait a minute. Forgot to mention the big one here, Michael. Technology, obviously radically different. An entirely new currency here with Rat Force, which we will learn more about moving forward, but I'm pretty sure it's this currency right here. That's going to allow us to build these other things. Looking forward to getting all that done. The Undercities, we don't actually have any Undercities right now. No, we don't have any Undercities, so we'll take a look at those Undercity buildings, under Empire buildings, when we get one of those. And so anyway, yeah, I haven't really done much with the Skaven in a long time. I like what SFO is doing overall. I'm looking forward to continuing to experience the changes here with SFO Skaven. Moving forward, this is the Rise of the Rat, and yeah, we're off to a pretty typical Ikit Claw start. I could have gone a little bit faster than that. I'm not really interested in endless aggression, as most of you know from some of my Let's Plays before. But anyway, like I said, it has a very Ikit Claw kind of a feel to it so far. All right, anyway, I'll go ahead and say thanks everybody so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.